This wildcard game last weekend, man, was one that I really couldn't tell coming into it who was going to win. And I thought the Rams were going to have a hard time having Wolford playing as their starting quarterback. And then he got knocked out and Golf comes in, so Golf ends up starting again. But coming out into the beginning of the game, I was like, nah, like they got Wolford starting. They got a great defense, but Wolford starting against the Seahawks, that's just automatic a loss. I mean, they still struggled with Golf, or excuse me, not the Rams. Check that. The Seahawks overall just struggled throughout the game, and I really was struggling on trying to figure out, is it actually just the Seahawks being a bad offense, or was it just the Rams defense being that good? And at the time, I go and do my research and see that the Rams were the number one defense in the NFL. And it really showed when they were playing the Seahawks. I mean, they couldn't get anything downfield against them all game, and their offense wasn't really making any type of adjustments. I mean, their defense was okay. They made their players that did their job, but it was just on offense. They weren't making any adjustments or anything. And just looking at the game, I'm like, man, what's going on with this? Then a couple days later, while I'm doing all my research and putting together this video to get it out, the Seahawks fired their offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer. So I'm like, what's going on with this? Like that definitely has to be some issue of, okay, they fired Brian Schottenheimer, they fired the OC. What's the meaning behind this? So I go in, look at the film for the last couple of weeks, and they were, I mean, all season, everybody remembers the let Russ Cook phenomena at the beginning of the season, and it worked out phenomenally. They started out 6-1. Russ was in the MVP conversation. They were rolling. And then midway throughout the season, things just started to go downhill. It looked like they couldn't really make any adjustments to things. Once they say if they don't get anything done in the pass game, they can't go back and establish the run. Teams aren't respecting their run like that. Versus if you look at their offensive scheme in 2019, yeah, they still still passed the ball, but it was more so play action. They still took their deep shots, but they have a strong running game as their base. And Pete Carroll loves a strong base in the run as a head coach, and also is the executive VP for the team. So he calls a lot of shots in what he wants to have done. And he said, okay, I'll let you have a little shot of going and doing this whole pass-heavy thing. I know Russ is a great quarterback. Let's try to give him a little bit more. And they do that, and it probably was to Pete's, not in his liking. He really probably didn't want to do that. And then as soon as it went left, he got rid of his offensive coordinator as soon as he could. And it really was just out of the OC wanting to do, if you look back at why he said he left, they said that it was because of quote-unquote philosophical differences between Schottenheimer and the coaching staff, or coaching staff and Schottenheimer. Pretty much Pete and Schottenheimer weren't on the same page when it came to how they wanted to run the offense. And that's why he ended up out of there, man. And I really saw how Pete could have an issue with these things because they weren't making any adjustments. If you go back and watch the film in that wildcard game, they literally weren't making any adjustments. They were trying to pass the ball, wasn't getting anything done downfield, and then when it came to the run game, they weren't really able to get that created because the Rams were just stuffing that out, and it was like, we're going to force y'all to throw the ball. It wasn't working, and Schottenheimer wasn't making the adjustments that he needed, and he wasn't making those adjustments really the second half of the season. He was just kind of stuck in the pass-happy down-the-field play calling versus what Pete wants, which is running the ball. And I guess with him not running the ball like he wanted him to, that's what led to him being out the door because Pete wants something his way. So we'll see who they come out and hire as a replacement. I saw that it was somebody within the Seahawks organization that's in the running for that offensive coordinator position, which makes the most sense because Pete is going to want somebody there that's going to listen to what he has to say and call the offense like he wants the offense called. He doesn't want to bring somebody from outside the organization that has their air raid offense or whatever and wants to chuck the ball down the field all the time. Pete wants somebody that's really going to just let him be the head coach and tell him how to run the offense and not have their input like that. So yeah, man. I mean, that's just what I checked out. That's what we got this week. I'm watching right now Green Bay and the Rams go at it literally currently. So just came out with a quick hit video this week, man. Just kind of looking at what happened with the Seahawks last week, man. It looks like the Rams are going to take a loss this week. Probably not going to do the video on them next week, man. But you guys stay blessed. I appreciate y'all checking it out. Y'all like, subscribe, do all that good stuff if y'all want to. If not, that's cool. I still appreciate you for giving it a view. You guys have a blessed one.